So guys, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high today, hitting 109,000. We are starting to see a little bit of a pullback, but the markets have been pumping up quite significantly. Altcoins also are seeing that great price action, and a lot of people are talking about how altcoins are about to start running very significantly based off of the price action that we've been seeing with Ethereum and overall the strength in the markets. There is a few different perspectives on possibly some deviations that could be happening, so I want to give you guys that perspective as well. But overall, it is looking quite good for the markets in general, and I'm going to walk you guys through all that information and what you need to be aware of so that you know what's going to be happening in the next week or so. If you're new to my channel, check out the rest of my content. I keep you guys updated on the day-to-day events, price action around Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and exactly what you need to be aware of so that you're not front run and do not understand what's happening whenever we see deviations and pumps. Like how I said, guys, we saw a new all-time high for Bitcoin today. We're starting to see a little bit of a pullback in terms of price action, but overall the markets are still looking quite green. Everyone thinks that we're going to be ripping up after this week, but there's a few different perspectives that I want to walk you through because you need to be aware of, guys, every possibility that could happen. And I don't want to, fill your brain with fluff information. So with all that being said, let's jump into the price action and exactly what is going on. So guys, like how I said, the crypto markets have been exploding. Bitcoin hit around that 110, almost 111,000 zone. Like how I said, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback after the crazy price action, people selling off due to the new all-time high, and this was anticipated. Ethereum, guys, is running super crazy as well, starting to pretty much reclaim that specific imbalance that we talked about that we saw back in February, which we're going to jump into another chart that gives you that information more in depth. Altcoins, guys, in the total 3 chart are just following the price action around Ethereum almost to a T. So when Ethereum starts to run, altcoins, guys, are going to follow, and this is why you need to be aware of the day-to-day price action, and we do that on this channel. Now, how liquidity is shifting, Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance are going to let us know that. Bitcoin dominance has been running up quite significantly, guys, in the past week, slowly showing that investors are allocating back into Bitcoin due to the super positiveness around crypto and risk assets, and also how the US dollar is looking and overall the US economy in general. So right now, liquidity is moving back into Bitcoin dominance. It is a lot of people are getting out of stables. You can see USDT dominance is crashing down very significantly, which is just going to show that sentiment is starting to rally super hard into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins in general, guys. I like to show you guys these charts just to show you exactly how liquidity is actually moving. Now, in terms of altcoins, guys, we are pretty much seeing some great, strong price action, and we're pretty much reclaiming specific zones, and we're staying above previous deviations. That is really pointing to the fact that we could be flipping these charts. This is why a lot of people are getting super freaking bullish. Crypto Mission now talks about the new all-time high for Bitcoin today and exactly what happened with the sell-off and kind of how it was anticipated. New all-time high today for Bitcoin today, an instant sell-off. Standard. People will use the all-time high as a crucial level to take profits from, and that's why it takes so long. And that's why, guys, you shouldn't get upset, or you shouldn't feel like unsure whenever we see deviations. It's a psychological thing. When people see this, they think it's a buyer of the rumor, sell the news event, and as a result, that's why it takes so long to actually see the crazy rip ups. Some consolidation and then lift off, and then altcoins to substantially outperform. So he really believes that we're going to be seeing a little bit of consolidation around Bitcoin, and then we're going to be seeing a huge lift off, and then altcoins are going to slowly get that liquidity they need to outperform everything else in the markets. This is super bullish for us, guys, but what does that timeline look like? We're going to jump into it a little bit more. Now, Justin Bennett talks about exactly the price action that we've been seeing with tether dominance, as well as overall specific zones for USDT that are really pointing to the fact that we could be seeing a huge rally in price action. But Justin Bennett goes on and talks about tether dominance. He shows some obvious support around the 4.37% zone. There's also a buy side imbalance near 5%. Not saying it will happen, but a full test of the 4.3 to 4.4% area followed by a fill of the 5% imbalance would make sense from a liquidity standpoint. If true, a bit higher for Bitcoin, and then possibly a 10 to 15% correction lines up with a Bitcoin chart I just posted. So he believes that literally we're going to be seeing, some consolidation a bit higher for Bitcoin and then potentially a correction. And this is where, guys, I want to jump into Benjamin Cohen's perspective with, a deviation that we could possibly be seeing. And this is where people are not focusing on. They're just getting super freaking bullish. But in terms of the price action around Ethereum as well, guys, we're really close to hitting that imbalance that we were talking about back in February. And if we could be hitting this zone, we could be seeing a huge rip up if we break out of that resistance. But only time will tell, guys. And this is why it's super important to keep up with all of this information and exactly why it is important. Now, CryptoCon gives us the long-term perspective as to, when everyone says it's the end of the markets, we're going to be seeing crazy deviations, recessions coming, black swan, all these different things, guys. And then whenever people get super euphoric and start posting bullish stuff, and then everyone just forgets about all the past times. But just a short while ago, the masses were guaranteeing to you that a bear market and a recession were next. Hello, new Bitcoin all-time highs. The days will come again when the narrative reverses. Bitcoin can never correct and will enter a super cycle because X reason. Always there's a reason, guys, as to why we're not going to be seeing a huge rebut. But I told you guys on this channel, be patient, understand how liquidity shifts, and you're not going to be wrong as long as you're invested in the right altcoins, knock on wood. Overall, though, the recession narratives will seem silly in hindsight, and people will forget how prevalent and real they felt. Many people have already sold portions or all of their portfolios at the lows because of the sheer magnitude of people predicting a black swan recession or bear market to come. Data and cycles were right yet again. It's not over, and the best is yet to come. And on this channel, guys, I post day-to-day content, keeping you guys updated with all of this information. And I've been telling y'all, be patient, expect the deviations, wait for liquidity to move properly, wait for the signals. And a lot of people on my channel have capitulated, gotten out of positions, jumped into new positions, done all different types of things. And the best thing to do, guys, is get into your positions, dollar cost average, and just wait until we start to see that crazy price action and rip ups. People are going to say this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And the moment that it doesn't, they go on and scream a whole new narrative. But on this channel, I keep you guys updated with the day-to-day information. So we don't scream new narratives every single week. We try to keep up to date with what's going on, and then from there move forward with that data. Numbers don't lie, people do. Okay, moving forward, guys, you saw all of the bullish sentiment. Now, I want to give you guys the other side of the coin, the darkness, what everyone doesn't want to see. So, Benjamin Cohen talked about how he got his face ripped off, thinking that there would be a pullback after the golden cross in 2023. And he's talking about the price action around Bitcoin. And he goes on to say, but just know that throughout most of Bitcoin's history, there are pullbacks around the golden crosses. The golden cross, guys, is in 1 to 2 days. So in 2 days, we're going to be seeing if that pullback happens. And generally, guys, look at this. Pullbacks are typically 10 to 15%. What did Justin Bennett predict around exactly what we're seeing with tether dominance in the inverse of Bitcoin? Exactly that. And this is where, multiple crypto analysts and traders kind of align. They kind of have different perspectives on how we're going to get there, but a lot of them do have the same perspective. But this is where you can, look at everyone's perspectives and then come to your own conclusion based off of what's going on. I am super bullish, but based off of this information, we could be seeing deviations and corrections, but only time will tell, guys. No one truly knows. This is all based off of previous events, cycles, and price action. Understand that. Overall, though, the Kobesi letter gives us a little bit more red news, which honestly could be bullish for risk assets, Bitcoin, altcoins in general, and Ethereum. But the Kobesi letter says, in a way, President Trump may actually want a recession. And this is super big, guys, because of the trade war that's going on, the U.S., inflation, rate cuts, all of that crazy stuff. But a recession achieves most of Trump's economic goals at once. 1, it lowers U.S. inflation. 2, it lowers treasury yields. 3, it lowers the trade deficit through tariffs. 4, the Fed interest will have rate cuts, and then from there, it will lower oil prices. After the recent surge in treasury yields, the Trump administration has realized that the trade deal headlines won't work anymore. A recession may be the best solution after years of inflation and free money. So with that information, guys, in the next few weeks, especially with this trade deal and then the stop of the tariffs, the pause in the 90 days once that ends, especially with the golden cross that's going to be happening and the price action that we're seeing, I could be seeing a deviation happening quite soon, even though everyone's super bullish. And then when that happens, I could see everyone screaming that this is the end again, that this is a start of a recession and we're gonna, go to zero. But this is where you gotta have multiple perspectives, guys. I gave you all the positive price action, the current zones we're seeing for Bitcoin and Ethereum, the imbalances, and on top of that, the other side of the coin where everyone is seeing the crazy rips, but there's also charts that point to the fact that we could be seeing deviations, especially with how the USDT dominance chart is shooting up and multiple other different things, guys. But overall, the crypto markets are looking quite green, seeing a little bit of a pullback, but overall, Bitcoin is running up like crazy, seeing strong price action, and so is Ethereum. If we look at my crypto portfolio, guys, right now, a lot of my assets are starting to jump up on the 24-hour, and a lot of these assets have already created higher lows, guys. So I'm super bullish based off of what's currently going on, but this is where you have to start keeping up with everything that's going on and also start dollar cost averaging into the positions that you truly believe. But swiping everything to the side, guys, right now is a freaking crazy time. We have a lot of uncertainty in the markets. We have talks about a recession. The markets are responding completely differently. We're seeing Bitcoin make a new all-time high. People are selling off due to, exactly what's going on. And right now, everyone is wondering exactly what's going to be happening. We could be seeing a deviation pretty much with that golden cross and what Benjamin Cohen talked about that happened in 2023. If that happens, guys, we could be seeing a pullback on Bitcoin anywhere from, 5, 10, even 15%. This aligns with how the USDT dominance chart has been crashing down in specific zones that we have previously seen. Ethereum is getting close to that imbalance that we saw back in February. So super bullish news, negative news, super bullish news, negative news, it just keeps on happening. And this is why it's good to keep up with the day-to-day, the price action, and everything you need to be aware of. And on this channel, guys, I do all of that. Not like all of these crypto YouTube channels. Please show me another YouTube channel that does exactly what I do, give you the price action that you need, the news events, and exactly everything else, and is as transparent as me. Guarantee you, you're not going to find it. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and check out the rest of my content. I keep you guys updated with the day-to-day events, price action around Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and exactly what you need to be aware of so that you can make those crazy gains. Guys, crazy times right now, crazy times. Dollar cost average, do not capitulate your bag. I'm going to be dropping a full video talking about my crypto portfolio, how exactly you should be looking at the markets right now. And I also have a lot of video suggestions, which I'm going to get to. So just stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be dropping way more videos. This is just the start of this whole journey and going full time into crypto. So overall, stay tuned. Do not capitulate your bags. And hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.